Welcome my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart. It's Mary Jane. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Potomac Season 3, Episode 16. I am sick. I am very sick. I don't know what's going on. I'm really feeling under the weather, so that's why this review is late. I'm trying. I'm really trying. So let's get into it. Let's just talk about like Ashley. Ashley, like, she was like gunning for Karen. It's like she wanted to have a combative argument with Karen. It's like she just wanted to argue with her. Like, it was like she was nitpicking and was just trying her best to get into anything that Karen said and did because she wanted to bring up her situation with Ray. Like, okay, yeah, her marriage is not perfect, her marriage is not working out fine, but who are you to make her address that in front of the group, in front of women that she don't get along with, in front of women that make fun of her, in front of women that poke fun at her? So Ashley, you need to miss me with that. And Ashley, you need to worry about your husband because obviously he likes men, so you need to go down to the next near STD clinic and get checked out. And then on top of that, your man don't want to have no baby with you. What does that say about you? You worried about Karen's situation? Your husband said on national TV he don't want to have a baby with you. At least Karen got babies with her husband. You don't. And then on top of that, he said because it's gonna turn out to be just like your mama, giving you the run around and lying to you, giving you excuses because he doesn't want to have a baby with you. He doesn't want to be bonded that way with you because all he wants to do is divorce you and be done with you. He don't want to have no kid. And my other thing is, I don't think he wants to have a biracial child in the first place either. He was never planning on having a kid with you, Ashley. So you know what, you need to worry about that. Instead of you and Michael worried about what's going on with Karen and her husband, you need to worry about what's going on with y'all and why he's out here, you know, on Tinder, Grinder, picking up men and got pictures of his penis out here on the internet. That's what you need to be worried about, and worried about why he don't want to have a baby with you. That just says a lot about you. And then on top of that, he wants to change the prenup on you, and you said okay. That's what you need to be worried about. Well, you always up in somebody else's business when your house is burning down. Stop throwing water on other people's houses and throw some water on your damn house because it's burning. And then on top of that, let's talk about Charisse. Charisse talking about she didn't say anything about trying to bring Kendall in the mix to get at Gizelle. She know damn well that she did that on purpose. And you know, maybe she was like trying to get the information out there to the ladies and to the girls, you know, Monique and, you know, maybe even, you know, Karen, trying to, you know, like, let's school Kendall in because Monique doesn't know Kendall. Monique only knows Kendall through Charisse. And Charisse invited Kendall to, you know, the Texas water fundraiser. So then on top of that, she gave her, like, you know, the ammunition, and she was like, and she gave her the ammunition and she gave her the tools to use. All she had to do was put it two together. And so then that's what, you know, Monique did. And Monique felt like she was doing something for her girl. Like she said, I got my girl's back. She wanted me to do this, and plus I'm already having troubles with, you know, Gizelle, so why not? And so it was just really funny just to see how Charisse was like, I don't want no blame in this. I had nothing to do with this. It's all on you, Monique. You need to own up to it. And I was just like, damn, that is mad shady. But then the night before, Charisse said, oh, I was kind of being a little messy. It was kind of interesting. I wanted to see what was going to happen. You could have gave Gizelle the heads up if you actually guys were friends, or you could have blocked that situation with Kendall coming around too as well, because it seems like you gave Karen, and Karen at the end of the episode mentioned that, you know, Charisse told me about Gizelle coming around, about Kendall coming around and all this other stuff, and if I wanted to invite her to my event or something like that. But she was like, oh, it might be too messy. I don't really want to be involved and get my hands too dirty. So even Karen said that, oh, you know, Charisse was kind of like, she really didn't want to, you know, have Kendall around like that because she didn't want it to be so messy. But she's the one that brought her up. She's the one that brought her around. You know, Karen is friends with her, but Karen wasn't thinking about her. Karen's trying to busy put her marriage and her taxes and her business together and trying to get her kids off to college and settle them down and get them wigs together. She ain't worried about, you know, Kendall and all this other stuff. She got a lot of drama going on, but I was just like, damn, Charisse would throw you under the bus in a minute. And Charisse just shows, like, you know, bad character, because that's the same thing she did with Monique. Like, she was having a problem with Monique or whatever, about she was feeling that Monique was trying to steal her friends and trying to climb the ladder in Potomac, the uppity ladder up in Potomac. And then she went around, she talked about Monique to everybody, and then she never did address Monique until Monique came to address her, and Monique was, you know, crying her heart out. So Charisse is kind of, you know, I don't see Charisse as being a good friend to anybody. Charisse is a friend of herself. I think she's been blindsided so many times. I think these ladies have been down, been down hard roads and hard times in life with the TV show and with their marriage and their personal life, that they lost the love that they should have for humanity and the love they should have for one another, especially, being African American women, working on a show together, trying to come up and trying to, get the show popping and get the ratings. But it just seemed like they have no love for each other, and it also seems like they have no love for themselves, and they're searching for love, because Robin's searching for love, Gizelle's searching for love, and Charisse is searching for love with young men now. So what's going on? And Monique wants more loving and understanding from her husband Chris, and I don't know what Karen is searching for. She's searching for the nearest bank account that can secure her and her husband to be financially stable. So moving on from that, I was just like, and then, Candice, like, they throw Candice under the bus. Like, they don't want to hear what she got to say. Like, she's not important. She's not relevant. I know she kind of got, like, a preppy attitude, preppy type of life, but she is suffering through some real things. Like, she's about to marry a guy that has 2 children that he is estranged from. And then on top of that, he's much older than her. And then she has a mother in her situation where these ladies could be guiding her and talking to her and helping her through trials and tribulations with marriage and with, getting married, because they all been there. They're too busy trying to shut her up and judge her and don't want to hear anything that she has to say. Just because she doesn't have big world issues like they do, and they don't have world issues. It's just that they have chaotic drama that's on the outside of their life, and Candice is having drama on the inside of her life with her husband and her mother, and she's trying to express that with the ladies, but they're throwing her under the bus. But Candice also has to find a better way to approach and have a conversations with these ladies and come off a little bit more mature and not ditzy. But I think, what she did, she told Robin, right? She was like, Robin, me and you do have a good friendship when, Gizelle is not around. Me and Ashley have a good friendship when Gizelle's not around. So even, Candice only been on the show for a little bit, but she's calling out the bullshit. Like, yo, everybody's a follower. They're following Gizelle. They want to be like Gizelle. They want to get her blessings. But when she's not around, they're open and they're nice and they like me. And you could see that in a previous episode, that everybody's cool with Candice until Gizelle comes around, because Gizelle doesn't like her because she's young and beautiful, and she's not living the hard life like Gizelle had to live. She didn't have to she didn't have to turn tricks up in the club and dance and shake her ass and then pretend like to be a happy first lady while her husband was cheating on her the whole time. And she doesn't have a house full of kids that she's trying to raise and trying to date at the same time, when a man just up and leave her ass and bounce. So she got a little animosity towards anybody that's having a better life. Gizelle might have money. She might have a good business, and kudos to her for being an African American woman with a business, but her personal life sucks. Her personal attitude towards people suck. How she interact with people suck. It's very on this show how she does, because I'm pretty sure when she's out there and she's doing her business and she's selling her makeup and she's doing shows and things like that, pertaining to her makeup, she's not like she is on the show. But for her to be as old as she is and have the children that she has, and to act, she should be the head mother in charge of the show, and making sure the ladies are all together and teaching them and showing them the way of life, and then also showing the young women that watch the show the way of life, how to get to things. But she's too busy trying to pretend like she's young and she's drop dead gorgeous, and she's not. Like, move on, bitch. Move on. That boat has floated. You're not an ugly woman. But it's time for you to teach now. It's time for you to teach. Instead of using Robin to be your bully, instead of using Robin to fight your battles and try to isolate her away from the girls and be mean to the girls, start teaching Robin how to secure that bag with her husband, or how to secure a better business, because you've secured a business where you are financially stable. So miss me with that. So I got a headache and I'm not feeling good, so I might just miss a couple of things. So, moving on from that, so we get back to, Monique and, Gizelle at the table. They're having breakfast, and it starts off with, where we left off at. Monique is saying, I cocked the gun, and I cocked the trigger, and I pulled it back, but then I said, no, let me put it down, because she felt like it was too messy and she didn't want to do it. So Gizelle was like, well, you missed. That's what happened. Gizelle was like, you don't want to admit that you had a part in bringing, Kendall around. You was being shady. Monique was like, I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna front. I was being shady, but when Charisse was like, she wanted to bring her around and and introduce her to the group and all this other stuff, I was like, cool, I'm with it, because she's my girl. So it's like, Monique is not taking full blame. She's taking partial blame, but the first blame she's saying that Charisse actually introduced the idea to her and she went with it. So that's where she stands at. And so, Gizelle was like, see what you guys did. I thought me and Charisse were friends. I thought we had it going on. I thought me and you was cool too, Monique. Like, we didn't have nothing going on. You guys were never cool. You shade Monique every time you get a chance. You ignore her. You act very uppity, act like you better than her. And I'm here to tell you, Monique is better than you, Gizelle. Sorry, in all the ways, and she just is. Or maybe not. I don't know. Right now, I'm not feeling good, and these ladies watching this show just really got on my nerves because I guess I'm not feeling good. But it seems like, you know, Monique does get caught into lies, and Monique, you know, has to backtrack a lot, but she's not going out totally to be hateful towards the women on the show. She's not going out totally to hurt the women on the show like Gizelle is, but Monique did throw a dagger and Candice back for no reason when they went on that trip with Ashley, and she threw Candice under the bus. So Monique is not an angel as well, because she will throw you under the bus if she feels like she could. But I don't know, they just all getting on my nerves. It's so crazy. The only person that's not getting on my nerves is Karen and Robin and Candice. Candice not getting on my nerves, the rest of them more. But Robin kind of like, I was happy to see that at the end of the episode, Robin was kind of like, when, you know, Candice confronted her about, you know, when they're both alone, it's all good. Like, Robin kind of realized, okay, she got a point, and she understood that, you know. But she also admitted that I do like you, and we know that Robin said that she did like Candice. But it didn't seem like she liked Candice when, you know, Gizelle came around. So that's the issue. So we're back to, you know, Gizelle and Monique. They're having that conversation. And so, you know, Gizelle was like, I wake up in the morning pretty, I go to sleep pretty, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I ain't got time to worry. But if you ain't worried, why did you show up to why did you show up to Karen's event ready to cuss out Karen because of invitation and bringing Kendall around? Last night you talked about this situation at the dinner table about Kendall with Charisse and Monique, and now you're talking about it again. Even though Monique came and got you, what you could have said was like, but I think you brought up the Kendall situation, but what you could have said is like, I'm done talking about Kendall. I know what happened. I know it went down. As long as you apologize to me, we can move on. So, but you know that Gizelle was pressed about, you know, them bringing Kendall around, because that's basically shade. And then on top of that, who knows what Kendall's going to say? Who knows what she heard from, you know, Sherman, and which could be a bad look for Gizelle. And she really didn't want that personal business out there in the world. So we'll see what happens with that situation. But Karen brought her around to go get her nails done. So right now at this point, you know, Monique and, you know, Gizelle are going to make up. They're going to call it quits. They're going to try to be cordial to each other and get along. But they ain't going to be besties, but they're going to try to get along. And so that's going to be it with that situation. And so now we have, you know, the ladies, they're getting ready to go, you know, they're getting ready to go to the winery. They went to the winery where, you know, where they brew and they make wine naturally by hand. And, you know, they're all drinking, and, you know, Karen is talking about, you know, how she's very subservient to it. She needs to be more subservient to her man, because she started serving the ladies glasses of wine as the person at the winery, or whatever, the distillery winery, the Vineyard, was actually, you know, making glasses. Karen was passing the glasses down. She was like, I need to be more subservient to my husband. So I'm going to do when I get home to Ray. It was nice for Karen to say that. That was good. But also, she should have known that she was going to catch some flack from that, because Ashley is counterclocking all that in her head, because now you're not wearing your ring, Karen. People are talking about you and Ray is about to move to Florida and leave you here high and dry. And it seems like you're trying to bring up that you and Ray are good and you're going to be subservient. You got a great marriage, which is possibly true. But, you know, right now at this point, it's going to end up blowing up in her face. But she has a right to say that she want to be subservient. She has a right to say if she wants to suck, lick, you know, whatever she wants to do with her husband. But in this type of situation, when you do that, when you know that your enemies are trying to get ammunition and trying to use whatever you say to turn it against you, so they can actually have an argument with you, and that's what Ashley's going to do. And so then once again, you know, they go to another table to have wine. You know, Karen was like, let me pass you this wine. You know, I've been married for 20 something years, and this is how I stayed married. Let me serve you, my dear. She was talking to like one of the guys that work at the whatever place, the winery, the distillery, the vineyard. And, you know, that's when Gizelle was like, well, he wouldn't know that you was married, Karen, because you ain't got your ring. I was like, damn. Like, why do they care if Karen wears her ring or not? You don't got a ring on, Gizelle. Why do you care if she got her ring on? Because people want Karen to own up and say that her marriage is bad, that her marriage is shaky right now. But Karen doesn't want to say that to these ladies, because they're not going to give her the support. They're going to throw daggers at her and, you know, make fun of her. They're not going to be compassionate towards her, and they're going to use it against her and then talk about it. So that's why she doesn't want to bring it up, and that's why Karen is trying to fake the funk like everything is okay. I don't know if everything's okay and everything's fine with Karen's marriage, but if she says it is, it is. We know Karen can be a habituary sometimes. And we know Gizelle can be a habituary too. And so is Ashley can be a habituary too. And Charisse can be a habituary too. A habituary liar. So we have that situation going on. And so then that's when Ashley was like, I don't know why she's faking the funk about her ring. You know, she said she was in Somalia and she kept her ring on. Nobody gives a shit if you was in Somalia, you was in the jungle, you was in the woods, you was in the hood, and you had your ring on because your husband like, man, bitch. I don't know why he with you. He likes both. And you know what? You so thirsty for money, you down with it. That's the crazy thing. These ladies would be down with anything for a few $1 million. Like, them, they would sell their soul, their life, their kids, their coochie, their family, just to be with a dude that can take care of them. Like, what kind of life is that? That ain't living. That ain't living. That ain't living. I'm telling you. They think it's living because you got a mansion, you got pools, you got yachts, you got maids. You can buy all the fine clothes in the world. You can have all the fine food in the world. But in the instant, he can take it away from you, and you didn't own it, and it's not yours, and you don't even deserve it. So whenever he feel like shitting on you, making you feel like you ain't nobody, that you a leech, then he does. And then you have to deal with it and then act like everything's okay by spending more money. So anyways, moving on from that, I'm not really feeling too good, guys. So maybe I feel like I'm going in too hard. So moving on from that, so they have that situation. I was like, damn, they gotta go there. And so now we get Charisse. Charisse pulls over Monique. Charisse pulls over Monique and was like, let's have a conversation because all that was you. You did all that dirty shit. You wanted Kendall around because you had a beef with her. You had a beef with Gizelle. So you threw me under the bus. Don't be coming at me with that bullshit because I don't do anything. I did nothing. I am innocent. This is all on you. I was like, she got a lot of nerve when she admitted to it last night that she thought it was interesting and she was kind of being a little bit messy. But yet now she's just like, oh no, it's you. And she had a straight face. It makes you think she's telling the truth, right? Because she had a straight face. But these ladies will lie with a straight face any day of the week. Like, they don't care. So I'm just like, so then Monique was like, no, I thought it was both of us. You introduced the idea of Kendall, and I really thought that you had a problem with her too as well, because Gizelle was going around talking about the fireman, this and that. And so that's when Charisse like, we squashed that because there was nothing going on. It was your idea. It was you. And so, you know, Monique was like, no, I really thought it was 50-50. Monique was like, I am owning up for what I did, but you're not owning up for your part. And so, you know, Monique is in a confessional. It was like, just because her and Gizelle are friends now and they're on a good page or whatever, now she's trying to throw me under the bus, or she's not trying to take blame for it. So it is what it is with that situation. And so then moving on from that, you know, then we get Karen and we have, you know, Candice. They're actually trying to have a conversation with, you know, Robin and Ashley. And Robin and Ashley, they called them over to have a conversation, but they're in the midst of taking a photo because the lights are good. I understand when the lights are good and the sun is out is good. And then plus they're not going to be at that same spot again, you know, the next day. So, you know, they wanted to take the picture. I totally get it. They should have said, hold on 1 minute, let us just take this photo. I don't know if they said that or not, but it also seemed like the way the cameras and the way the editing was, like they was just really trying to ignore them. I don't know if that was actually the case, but anyways, Karen and, you know, Candice did feel ignored. And so Gizelle, she was up there with him, but she moved over to the steps and she was about to leave. And so when she hears that that Candice is trying to address, you know, Robin and Ashley, she runs over there and she jumps in and she becomes the bully where, you know, I believe that Candice would have been actually able to get out what she needed to say clear and concisely without Gizelle coming in, because Gizelle just ran over there for the mess, ran over there to be a bully, ran over there to start the mess and not get Ashley actually a chance to talk. And she just wanted to be like kindergarten. Like, you know, it's sad because, you know, Gizelle's daughter called her, and her daughter was all upset and crying because she didn't have a good day at school. And I'm figuring that her daughter didn't have a good day at school because she got picked on, she got bullied, and she has no friends in school, and probably nobody wants to hang around her daughter. So on that note, knowing that your daughter and your children face these types of situations of people isolating them and people putting them, judging them, and not want to hang out with them and be cool with them, you on this show is doing everything that you don't want your children to go through. Like, you don't want your children to get bullied. You don't want them to be isolated. You don't want them to be told off and be made fun of. You don't want that to happen. But yet you're doing this on TV, so your children are going to get bullied in school. That's just going to be what happened because, Gizelle, you put out that energy, and our kids suffer for our sins sometimes, and your kid is going to suffer for your sin of being a mean woman, older woman on the show that should be teaching and giving knowledge and giving knowledge to all the women that watch the show how to maneuver your way around all the bullshit, but yet you too busy hating. And Karen, you need to just be real. Be like, yo, Karen, you just be like, I'm going through this. I'm having this problem. Judge me. Say whatever you want to say. I'm not the only person in the world that's going through these problems, going through these trials and tribulations. And you just need to own it and face up to it, Karen. And that way no one can pull your card if you just be real. Like, yes, I'm going through this, but I understand. Who wants to tell their enemies what they're going through? So then that situation would totally last. And even when Gizelle was coming over there to join in the conversation, she kept saying princess, princess. And she was trying to get a rise out of Candice because she knows Candice doesn't like to be called princess. So Candice is trying to say that, you know, the ladies don't, you know, listen to what she has to say. They address her wrong. She doesn't want to be called princess. You know, she feels like they get the wrong idea about her because they only see one side of her. She wants them to get to know the full range of Candice, but it's hard for her to do that because she feels like she's constantly being judged or she's being ignored at the same time, and they totally just throw whatever and her concerns out the way, like whatever. And then so Gizelle was like, well, did you not show society you? Like, you did show, haven't you not showed us society you? And so that's when, you know, Candice was like, well, if you were to take your head out your ass, Gizelle, you could see the other side of me. And that's when Karen jumps in and was like, okay, this is going wrong, because Candice will quickly go to talk shit and be real with her shit that she does talk. But I guess in this circle of ladies, she has to endure them saying negative and being disrespectful towards her and then get her point across. But if she addresses their negativity before, you know, after they're done with getting their point across, then she's not able to get her point across. So basically they want her to suck up the shit that they throw at her and then get her point across. I was just like, yeah, whatever. They on that bullshit. So it goes down like that. So the situation is just really, it's just negative. And so then we get back into the car ride. So then there we go. Here goes, Candice doesn't want to get judged, but now we get into the car. And so now we're talking about, husbands. We're talking about marriages and things like that. And then first, Monique was talking about, they was like, oh, Monique, why don't you start a winery, business or whatever. And so she was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be just like Karen Hooger. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have somebody put it together, and then I just put my face on it, And then that's when Ashley was like, well, you got to have money to do that. You got to have startup money. You got to have this. And this is when Karen said, well, all you need is investors. And so then, Ashley was like, yeah, you need money. You need startup money. You need this. And she's going back to the money part. And that's when I believe Karen said something like, you should know all about taking money, like, because you're taking Michael's money. She was like, yeah. So Ashley was like, yeah, you taking money too. You taking, Ray's money too as well. And so they're going back and forth, tit for tat or whatever. And so then that's when, Ashley was like, well, who owns your new business? Is it Ray that owns your new business, or is it you that own your new business? So she's going back and forth, throwing her under the bus. And then Ashley was like, I know your secrets. I know your deep, dark secrets, because Ray was on the phone with my husband, and I heard the whole conversation. And I know what's going on, and he is going to Florida and leaving you. And so that's when Karen was like, no, that's not true, because I talked to my husband about it. I just wanted to make sure I get the facts about it, and you don't even know what you're talking about, because that's not true. He said that he wants to move to Florida, whatever the hell he wants to move to as well. But we can't believe anything that Ashley or Karen really says, especially Karen. So you don't know. But Karen did make a good point that Ashley pretends like she's your friend and she gathers information up on you, and then she turns around, she spew it, and she uses it towards the group, especially if you wanted to, especially if you're talking to her about something personal, something private. Ashley would indeed throw that shit up in the air in front of your face, especially if you're going back to back. Or she feels like, oh, you're acting like everything's okay in your life. And then she was like, oh, well, Ashley's the type of person, oh, everything's okay. No, it's not, because yesterday you told me that you found some pantyhose in, you know, your man's closet. So Ashley's that type of person. So you have to be very careful what you say around her. You can't let her manipulate you where you think you let your guards down with her, because she's going to use it against you, because she doesn't really have anything going on too as well. And that mama situation and that baby situation is kind of old. And so, you know, Karen was like, what are you talking about? Karen was like, don't even go there. So that's when Ashley was like, oh, you talking about? Karen was like, my marriage is an institution. Your marriage is fake. It ain't real. It's fake. It's fake. And so then that's when Ashley was like, oh, well, that's why you told me that Ray has an old shriveled up, you know, penis. And so I was like, whoa. So, you know, Karen was like, don't worry about if I wear my ring. Don't worry about none of that. Worry about your prenup. You talking about, you just signed a prenup and all this other stuff. And so then that's when, you know, Candice jumped in and she's at Ashley because she feels like Ashley is attacking, you know, Karen. And so she's coming at Ashley. So she's coming at Ashley. And she's like, Ashley, you need to be quiet. You know, you need to stick a penis in your mouth. And that's when Monique says that, which color, black or white? It's just like, oh no. So Ashley really just let it go with, you know, Candice. But, you know, Ashley's going to be coming for Candice. Soon she gets some more information, some more of her business, she's going to be coming in at her. So anyways, it is what it is with all that situation. They go back and forth. And it's just sad that, you know, it's just like Ashley just wanted to argue with Karen the whole entire trip. So it is what it is. Then they have Charisse's birthday. Then they have, you know, Monique's birthday party. It went okay. It went well. I must say, Ashley was the best dressed throughout the whole trip. She stayed consistent. Then after Ashley, we would say Gizelle was the best dressed and she stayed consistent. And then after Gizelle, we would say Karen was the best dressed and she stayed consistent. And then after that, we would go with Monique was the best dressed and she stayed consistent through the whole trip. And the rest of them, you know, I don't know who be dressing Ashley, a blind person. I don't know. Even a blind person can feel that Ashley ain't matching and what she got on don't go. Peace. I'm out. One love.